Happy New Year, guys. Welcome back to the first episode of Reality Comics Presents in 2014. We're inside Metropolis Comics, your home for all comic books, cards, and kendamas. If you're in the neighborhood, swing on by, be on the show. Love to have you. So we've been gone for about a week, and some interesting things have happened that I really didn't expect. All right, first bit of news. This caught me off guard, but Paul Rudd is playing Henry Pym Ant-Man in the confirmed movie that's coming out in 2016. Now, I don't know how to feel about that. I've seen him maybe in one movie at best, maybe one half a movie even. So I have no idea what to expect. It's Marvel. Their casting has always been somewhat on point for the most part. So, just let it be, and hopefully it turns out to be something that's really good. In other news, the girl from True Blood who played Rogue in the first X-Men movies is finally being cut from the movie. Bryan Singer tweeted that her one scene was cut from Days of Future Past, and I am glad for it because I'm an X-Men fan. My top three X-Men: Cyclops, Rogue, Wolverine. Wolverine has been doing okay. Rogue, they totally ruined her. So if that scene that she's in is cut, hooray for me, because now I can finally, stop reliving that horrible, horrible moment when I finally saw Rogue in X-Men and she was just crying and whimpering and, I don't want my powers anymore. So yeah, Brian, keep that scene out. Keep her out completely, if anything. So the new guys at K&K Productions have been doing this really cool project with the Dragon Ball Z stuff, and they released a trailer for the Frieza saga. Now, this trailer is fan-made, and their budget is maybe a couple thousand at most, but it still looked 1,000 times better than anything Fox could have done. The plot looks good because it's Frieza saga, and then the dialogue, this is fan-made dialogue, so it's going to be a little bit off, but it still sounded great, and he quoted word for word a scene at Dragon Ball Z where Frieza and Goku are about to fight. Now, in the entire Dragon Ball Evolutions, I didn't hear a single line from either Dragon Ball Z, or GT mentioned at all. So already this already has, a thumbs up for me for actually quoting something. The trailer looks cool, the teaser looks great. Hopefully Frieza looks decent. It is still fan-made, so, anything can happen, but good for them, though, because Dragon Ball Z needs to be made proper, and I'm glad they're the ones doing it. Alright, so 47 Ronin. More like 47 Boos. Every critic hates this movie. Now, I haven't seen it yet because I don't want to waste my money. The plot is paper thin. Keanu Reeves is the star. And they put in dragons and fantasy elements. Now, mind for a second, okay? 47 Ronin, if it was done as a hardcore samurai Ronin movie, would have been epic. And so what happens is you have this movie that comes out on Christmas Day, which is the worst time for an action movie, because no one has ever said, oh, I know what you do on Christmas. Let's go see an action movie. Listen, if you want to do 47 Ronin, get rid of Keanu Reeves, replace him with an actual Japanese actor. There's a bunch of those people out there. Just find one. Make the movie legit. That would have been awesome. But instead, we got this half-ass movie that is trying to be all fantastical, like, The Hobbit or whatever, and it didn't come out as they thought it would. So now that is what, $20 million down the drain? Good job to you, huh? Real investment. Spoiler alert! The cover of Empire magazine has a big spoiler on it. Well, for some people. For us comic guys, we already know what the spoiler is. Bucky is on the cover without his mask, with Cap and, Black Widow. And so there people are talking about, hey, they spoiled the movie. They didn't spoil the movie. Because think about it. The cover is coming out in January. The movie comes out in April. We know who Bucky is already, so it doesn't really matter to us. The general public, they'll forget in 2 days. Cool that Bucky made the cover, but it doesn't really matter. But his face, though, looks like Kane from Attitude Era. Look at the picture right here. Look at the picture. He has black eyeshadow on. They couldn't clean him up and just have his actual face. Remember that episode in Raw when Undertaker took off Kane's mask and he had all that black eyeshadow on? That's what it looks like. It looks like Kane. So, whoever did that must have been like, you can't find a picture of him. Oh, we got this one. Let's use it. So that's why you have, eyeshadow wearing Bucky on the cover. I like how they did the whole, cover though with, Bucky on one side, Cap in the middle, iconic pose, and then Scarlett Johansson's ass not being in the picture. Who decided that anyway, huh? Bad Photoshop. And now we get a little bit serious. Now, I got this report off nukethefridge.com, and it said that Denzel Washington is possibly playing Green Lantern. Let that sink in for a little bit. What the are you thinking? Now, mind you, this could be a complete misinformation campaign going on. because I could not see Denzel Washington putting on tights for, let alone playing Green Lantern. The guy is almost 50 or is 50. He should not be playing Green Lantern. He's the best actor in that whole line of people we heard about. And I don't think Denzel would even reduce himself to that level. So I hope this story is false. But come on, really, Denzel? What about Common? Yeah, remember Common? He should have played Jon Stewart a long time ago. He wants to play Jon Stewart. He looks like he could play Jon Stewart. Like physically, he looks like the guy. So if you're gonna put in Green Lantern in a Superman movie, let it be Common, not Denzel. But on the second thought, though, why are they even considering this in a movie that's supposed to be someone else's sequel? We already have The Flash and Wonder Woman and Batman. Why do we really gotta bring in Green Lantern? Enough with the additions of characters, DC, enough of that crap. Superman and Batman is all we want to see. Leave it at that. And screw the rest. Don't keep adding like it's a recipe for disaster. You just can't stop adding to it. Just stop, do Superman, do Batman, Lex Luthor, end of the show. Simple enough. What else is really simple is The Hobbit, doing really good in box office. Currently, they're about to cross over 500 million worldwide, and it doesn't really surprise me. It's Peter Jackson, it's The Hobbit. People love this stuff. And it's on Christmas Day, too. Come on, all the families together. What they don't say is, let's see 47 Ronin. What they do say is, let's see The Hobbit again. Peter Jackson, if they got a dragon, they got a great story, great visuals. It's supposed to do well. Now, don't be surprised by the time it gets out of theaters that it crosses $1 billion, because that is, what, chump change to them at this point? The movie's really good. Now, Trevor gave it a 6 out of 10, but don't blame me. I haven't seen the movie yet, okay? But he said Lake Town was the reason why he gave it 6 out of 10. It's too drawn out, it makes no sense, and it reminds me of kind of like Fable. I haven't seen it. I'll rate it later on this year. All right, and final thing I got for you guys this week. Peter Siegel, the director who was attached to do Shazam, said that the chance of seeing Shazam ever on the big screen is slim to none. Between Superman Returns, when we all hated him, and Man of Steel, they thought about doing Shazam. But now that Superman is now relevant and is now doing his own, contained universe, Shazam is nowhere to be found because they're too similar. Superman became relevant again. And when he became relevant, Shazam became irrelevant. Because in the eyes of DC, it's either Superman, Batman, or nobody else. And so, my favorite DC hero that I want to see will never be made because Superman is still relevant. I know, what the hell, right? Because similarity does not equate profitability. I would love to see Shazam because Shazam has different elements that Superman just doesn't have. Shazam could be a half-hearted comedy. Shazam is a little kid in a grown-up body doing superhero things. That is a whole world to explore. Comedy, action, coming-of-age story. All these three elements would make for an awesome movie, but it seems like DC just doesn't get it. Superman and Batman are in their own universe, Earth 1. Shazam and everybody else is in Earth 2. What they could do is, instead of trying to make a Justice League movie, what about an Infinite Crisis movie? One side, you have the original primary heroes doing their own thing. Then you have Shazam and his cast of heroes in Earth 2. You do Justice League 1, Justice League 2 is, Darkseid, and then Justice League 3 would be Infinite Crisis, where both worlds combined and, fought each other. That would be amazing, but guess what? It's DC. They don't understand plot. They don't understand thinking ahead. They think everything must be Superman or Batman or nothing at all. So Shazam is on the shelf again, and honestly, he might not ever come off the shelf, which is a terrible shame because Shazam has so much to offer this world.